Figuring out why the Gospels were written is kind of self-evident. They were written to tell the story of Jesus for future generations of Christians and to inspire people to actually follow this Jesus. But why was Acts written? Well, I think it was written to show the continued work of the Spirit in the church, to show that the story didn't end with Jesus of Nazareth, but that it's still going on, and that we have a place in that story. So Acts is the second volume of the Gospel of Luke. Luke wrote both of those books. Each of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, have their own main points, and one of Luke's is that the birth, life, ministry, death, and resurrection of Jesus is a work of the Holy Spirit. We see the Spirit in Luke's Gospel all the time. The Spirit is with Jesus. The Spirit is with Mary and Joseph, Elizabeth and Zechariah, John the Baptist, Simeon. When Luke writes Acts, he shows that the same Spirit that worked through Jesus continues to work through the church after Jesus' life, death, resurrection, and ascension. In this sense, Jesus' ascension becomes really important in Luke and Acts. In the ascension, Jesus bids his disciples farewell. He commissions them to do their new work as apostles, and he lifts off the earth and he goes into heaven. It's admittedly a relatively obscure scene in the Bible for us today, but the ascension marks the difference between Jesus, who is here, and Jesus, who is not here. Jesus, who is right by our side, and the Jesus who is on the right hand of God the Father in heaven. And in this sense, Pentecost becomes really important. It's the inauguration of the Spirit's new mode of interaction with the church. Acts is all about showing this new mode, this new era of the Spirit. Acts is also a further revealing of the new mission of God in the world. Prior to Jesus, God's mission in the world was really to and through Israel. With Jesus, we see a radical expansion of this. One of the main points of Luke and Acts is that God's mission is now to the whole world. And we are the agents that are to take this mission outward with the help of the Spirit. The focus is no longer on Israel. What had began in Israel has now been shifted to the nations of the world. Acts is where we see the beginning of this global fulfillment. And it's where we begin to see the conflicts that this shift causes. God's focus on Israel had been a part of Israel's story since the days of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When other people and other nations start to get included, you better believe that that caused a stir, especially with the Christians who had first been Jews. I think Acts is an exciting book because really and truly, it's not just about what happened a long time ago, but what we're still supposed to be about today. For while the apostles entered into the age of the Spirit, we are still in the age of the Spirit. Acts is also about what the Spirit is doing today.